Do you feel like the media in Uganda was more of an instigator of what was going on, or maybe it was basically a result of basically the people's mindset?
Well, I guess the most interesting thing is the media in Uganda is really mixed. So on the one hand, the Rolling Stone obviously played such a big role in the situation for LGBT people in Uganda, and we show that in the film. But on the other hand, we also show that David was appearing on TV news to talk about the issue and to talk about what he was fighting for. And there are other newspapers that we didn't have space to include in the film who were writing more supportive articles or publishing op-eds in support of the LGBT community. Mm-hmm. So, so a lot of this was a result of this pretty strong sense of a free press and a pretty diverse press in Uganda, actually. But that being said, I mean, what Giles was publishing was definitely contributing to the situation. I mean, publishing pictures and saying hang them was incitement ultimately, and he knew the power he had, which I think was the most disturbing thing. But that said, maybe even more disturbing was the fact that he seemed mainly focused on selling newspapers, ultimately, and writing whatever was necessary to sell them.
Mm-hmm. I had some hesitations originally about, I was cautious about letting him stand in for the entire anti-gay movement, and I think it's quite easy, especially in films like this. There's often, a film that's sort of taking one side. It's quite easy to just find some really vicious sound bites from the other side, and that kind of deflates the issue and all of its complications and stuff, and ultimately isn't going to play well for audiences that might be on the fence or a little bit, a little bit anti-gay, but maybe not so ferociously. It's not going to play so well if they feel like if that's the way that you've done your job. But the reason, at least for me, that I feel like we were fair in making that decision was because Giles, that's the exact power that someone like in Giles' position has. He's writing these articles, he's writing these headlines, he's choosing the photos that are, most horrible and printing them. And then, thousands and thousands of people are reading that, and that's their only source of information about that subject matter. And so I think, that kind of legitimizes him as standing in for that whole movement, because that's exactly what he, as a powerful man of the media is doing. Mm-hmm. And that's why it's so problematic, especially in a place like Uganda. I definitely think that kind of journalism is partially responsible for what the gay community is going through.